Hey everyone, Paulus here. Welcome back. So today we're going to talk about how to really transition from entrepreneur to a leader and really the 3 steps to really stepping up and scaling fast in your company. So growing a company is one of the most rewarding and exciting things you can do, and it also provides a lot of opportunity for personal growth. So when our company gets bigger, we have to decide what role we want to play. And as a small business owner, we can wear many hats and do many roles. But once we grow bigger, we need to be more strategic in our approach and often take on a leadership role. So in this video, I want to talk about the shift from entrepreneur to leader and offer 3 pieces of advice to help you on your journey. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first piece of advice I would give you is to really don't get ahead of yourself. So really understand where you're at in your business and what's important based on the phase of business that you're in. And by knowing where you're at, it'll keep you from spinning your wheels, spending time where you shouldn't be spending your time, or spending money where it doesn't need to be spent. Really, at the end of the day, you need to know who you are a leader to. So if you're a startup, most of the work needs to be you. You really are more of a leader to your customers. Really focus on understanding your customers, being empathetic to them, and not so much about growing a team and being a leader for that, because that will come later. And believe me, with HR, with employees comes a whole new set of skills, headache, things you have to be aware of. So if you can first hyper-focus on the customer side, become a leader to them, really serve them well, go above and beyond in these early phases so you can really get good, honest feedback back, because that will pay so many dividends as you enter into other phases of business. So as you get into the growth and the evergreen phase, this is really where you need to start building a team, and you really need to identify first who you are and what type of company you want to build. We have options now. We didn't have a lot of options in the past. You had really large organizations used to outsource, but really people just built teams, right? Or a lot of companies were just solopreneurs. There's a lot of options today of how to design and build your company. So for instance, some people could actually just create a really good idea that's a really simple business model and really autopilot a lot of it through an outsourcing model that I call Teamsourcing. You could, if you want to build your own in-house team, you can start to scale that in the right way. So really identifying, do I really want to build a team? Do I really want to manage people? Because the first phase of leadership as you build a team is management. Eventually you can get to where you are leaders of leaders, to where you're not having to really work closely with a lot of employees and showing them how to do things. But in the early stages, it's really hard to get around that unless you have the capital to be able to hire high-level people around you, right out of the gate. So the purpose of this video is really how to step up and scale fast, right? And to do that, you really have to be that leader. And in this growth and these evergreen phases of business, a team is the only way to really get to that next level. And that's going to require you to learn to let go, right? I know that's a scary thing, but by learning to let go, you can really start to empower others. And like I said, start with creating managers and also people around you that if you know you're really weak in something, your first hire might need to be more of a jack of all trades that can really soften a lot of those weaknesses for you. In the early days, I hired a lot of people like me, a lot of visionaries. We had lots of meetings about vision, not a lot of work getting done. I don't recommend it. And so as you're building a team, just understand who you are. The more you can understand yourself, the more likelihood of success in your business that you'll have, because sometimes we are our own worst enemy when it comes to growing and scaling our company. So first, understand who you are, and then build a team around that will support you with your strengths and your weaknesses. Which actually leads me to my next point, which is don't hire visionaries like you. So if you are a high visionary like I am, it's important not to hire a bunch of other visionaries. You need people that can actually do the work. You need what I call a how-minded person. So I think of visionaries as like why-minded. We carry the why, the big vision of why we do what we do, right? And then we have a how-minded person. They are there to execute on your why. And so these types of people are great because they're ones that maybe don't get glossed over by you talking about vision, but they know how to go and execute downward. So those are always great people to really support you on your journey and growing. And so if that how person can also be good managers, that's a win-win. It's not always easy to find that type of person that can do both. But really, at the end of the day, though, don't hire people just like you. Now I appreciate the differences that people bring. In fact, I was just in a call a couple days ago with my somebody that does some of the consulting with me for our clients, and she was so we work differently when we brainstorm. We're creating this program, and it's interesting because I have to go really messy. Like she always gets, well, she doesn't get frustrated. I always joke that she should be frustrated because I go and I really mess up the sheet and I put all these different things on it and I'm just brainstorming all the things out of my head. Like I'll go and do a lot of research and what I'm trying to do is find patterns. So as I go messy, then I start to make it more simple and clean, where she likes to work the other way, right? Like what are the different categories and then fill in those categories. So my brain works opposite most people, I think. But she just mentioned to me, she's like, I just appreciate you, Mia, how you don't ever try to change me in the way my brain works. And I said, are you kidding? Like, I appreciate that. I've done it the other way before, where I know at the end of the day, I can go this way and create it, but you're going to go the other way. So if we both end up in the same area, even though we went two different ways to get there, like I know I've validated that thing and I'm happy about that. So I think it's important to embrace the differences in how people intersect with you. I feel like team building is more of like a puzzle, right? Finding the different pieces that fit together. And there's no two puzzles that are alike in a company. And so if you're looking for one size fits all thing, it will never be that way, because you're unique, your vision is unique for your company, and your tolerances of the type of how you want to build and scale your company is unique. So before we dig into the third way to really step up as a leader and scale your business fast, I would love it if you liked and subscribed to my channel. This was a great way to get the algorithm to work to where this can get these videos out to other entrepreneurs. I really am just passionate about getting us unstuck as entrepreneurs, getting us to scale faster and simplifying business so we can all have more time, be able to do the things that we love, and not have so much headache with business. We have so much of the tools and productivity at our fingertips, or the productivity tools at our fingertips to really simplify business. We just got to know how to use them, and we got to know how it works for us and what we want. So again, I would love it if you'd like and subscribe to this channel, and thank you again for watching. So let's go ahead and dig into that third piece of how to really step up as a leader. So if you're one of those that has a desire to build an in-house team, it's important that you first hire people related to your core product or offering. People that can help service that core product is going to be key. I've had opportunity to work with a lot of startups and in the tech world in different areas, and it's interesting how many of them feel like they just start, because a lot of them might get capital and things where they just start hiring all these positions thinking, oh, we got to be ready for the growth. And it doesn't work that way. It doesn't just, you just put it all together and then all of a sudden the growth just happens. And so I'm much more calculated in the risk that we take in making sure that, hey, let's hire the people that will help service the customers first with their core product. So maybe whether it's creating your minimum viable product, or whether it's being able to, if it's more of an informational type product that you've built, like how can a core team to help service that? And the more lean and mean you can be to start, it's so much easier to grow and scale a company without a lot of overhead initially. And the best way to mitigate your risk as you're scaling is to outsource so many of the components. Outsourcing has gotten so good over the years. Like you don't need to build it all in-house anymore. You can really create really simple companies through outsourcing. Now, I will say I'm a little biased in how to outsource, because I really feel like the virtual assistant model, when you start to get into those scaling phases of business, is really a broken model. I think the 4-hour work week pushed that agenda that you could scale a company with VAs, and it's really, really tough. And I'll tell you why. It's a one-to-one relationship, so it still puts you as the expert. And if you're really looking to get out of your company, creating a sustainable company that can run without you if you left for 3 months, you really need to be able to have people around you that can make decisions without you as you build yourself into a bigger and bigger leader. And really having more specialized skills. So instead of a jack of all trades, it's important to have different skills in different areas. And so with something that I built called Teamsourcing, it's great because you can actually have different skills in different departments and be able to grow and scale based on the volume that you need. And so because it's fractional, it's based on the fraction that you need, you don't have to go and hire a full position and try to make them a jack of all trades. Because I see a lot of people talk about that. I hired this person and as a marketer, right? But they're not good at all the different marketing things, and it's because it takes different brains. If you think about marketing, just that one department, copywriters are usually not good at graphic design, and graphic designers aren't good at copywriting, and they're usually not as great as about doing strategy for your company. So just be aware that if you're trying to find a unicorn like you, they are very rare and they might be 1 to 3% of the population, the ones that can work with ambiguity, that can see all the different pieces, that can be good at a lot of different things. Because you've had to do a lot of things as an entrepreneur, it's forced you to have to become really good at several different things. So just understand that that's not typical. So as you start to want to grow and elevate a team and grow a team, understand that there is, you're going to have to realize that you're not hiring a bunch of yous. You're creating different skills and pieces that are going to work together like a puzzle. So as a bonus, if building a team does scare you, I challenge you to look at the team sourcing model and maybe think differently about how you could design and scale your team. But if you really want to dig into what you should be doing when, at what phase of business, I have a free assessment that you can determine which phase of business you're at. So you can go to theimpactequation.com. And when you take this assessment, it'll help you be able to know what you need to focus on as a leader, because that is the way you can become the best leader, is by not getting too squirrely and focusing on all the things that we know we shouldn't as entrepreneurs, because we're all guilty of it. And so if you can have a little more guidance and have a plan and what I call the impact equation to help you along your journey, I promise it'll help you have more clarity in what you're doing. So you can go ahead and go to theimpactequation.com.